What up? What up? What up? Welcome back to another episode of Cultivated Ignorance. I'm Will, the host.
I'm like the favorite host. We're finally back.
Wrong. You're not the favorite host.
Oh, you bitch.
We are finally back. We stepped out the country.
Where we went? Where did we go?
We went. We were banned in the front lines of Ukraine against Russia.
Is that where we were?
That's exactly where we were.
Oh no.
As you can see, we came back. We brolic. Nah, man. Sorry for taking a month off, y'all, but we needed a little bit of break. One thing that we are about on this show is not talking about bullshit. Straight up.
Yeah, for sure.
And there was some weeks, man, where we were like, man, all of this just feels like low-hanging fruit. Like, it just feels like clickbaity social media nonsense.
Right.
So we just said, fuck it, and we took a couple weeks, about a month off. But if you are a patron, you've been seeing our stuff.
What was you doing on Patreon?
Right?
What's up?
Isn't that right?
That is absolutely right. We've actually been going ham on the Atlanta reviews lately.
Atlanta. Here we go.
If you ain't watching Atlanta, I don't know what you're doing with your life, to be honest with you.
Bam.
It's been lit. Shout out to people who've been watching the videos, liking them or whatever. It's been lit, man. Y'all may or may not know, but we huge Atlanta fans.
Huge. And Barry fans, but we're going to get to that later.
We're going to get the Bears. But Atlanta is so good because there's so many different reasons, but we've been having like spoiler-filled reviews, but also like really critical analysis on what we feel like the show's trying to say, which is a lot this season. And you can get in on the conversation for only $5.
Only $5?
Only $5. The less than a damn cheeseburger from McDonald's at this rate, because inflation is going crazy.
Yeah.
We got y'all though. This price ain't changing no time soon. Unless we blow up, then it might be $500. I don't know. We'll see then. But for now, it's only $5.
Yeah.
Check us out. It is a good time.
Patreon.com/cultivated ignorance.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Patreon, one of the benefits of one of the higher tier, I think it's just a $5 tier actually, is getting your performance art event promoted. And it doesn't have to be performance art per se, but we mostly promote performance art events here, because that's what I'm all about. Will hates the arts because he just
I hate bad art, as well. I'm not gonna say as anyone should, but as you have the right to.
No, you don't. No one has any right to criticize any art. But Wits in Poetry, which is like the longest running poetry nonprofit anyway, in Greenville, South Carolina, is popping off May 22nd. That is a Sunday. Yes, you can go out on Sunday. Don't be out like you got to go to work and everything. The Say What series is coming back. If you don't know what Say What is, usually a bunch of slam poets, usually open mic, using poetry. It's usually poetry, fun, and games. It's a good old time. Like I said, May 22nd at 7:30 p.m., we will have Marley Quinn, Dove Dupree, and Shay Black, who are two people that I love to death. I featured in my own show. Your favorite Merce. And I think the feature is this poet called Black Phoenix. Very dope dude. It's gonna be a good ass night, man. It's all going down at Coffee Underground in Greenville, South Carolina. If you're not in South Carolina, please come here. We'll be having dope ass shows, man. Please come through. This is gonna be a great show. Like I said, May 22nd. That's a Sunday at 7:30 p.m. at Coffee Underground in Greenville. Tickets are only $10. You can go to the website at witsinpoetry.com to buy tickets, or you can just go to the door and buy tickets. Only $10 for some amazing entertainment. And check him out, man. It's a good ass time.
I remember I came to Blue Note and I saw Dove Dupree.
Yeah.
I'm super critical of all the people that come through, all the people that do poetry, because a lot of it's bad. But that dude was extremely dope. Extremely dope. I think I bought a book, something else right on the spot. Like, so
I need y'all to understand how important that is. Like, Will does not fuck with poetry like that.
I'll be trying, and it's just all finger snaps.
Don't listen to him as far as poetry thing. But as you can see, he's highly critical, and if he touched his heart, then it's saying a lot. Because, yeah. So, man, check him out, man.
So, what you been up to over this past month, dog? I know we've been doing the Atlanta reviews, but
yeah, man,
we ain't really caught up like that.
Oh man, hey, life, love, joy. Um, Still working on the nonprofit. On the executive committee of Alternate Roots, which is this big ass nonprofit from out of Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta, Georgia. We got a retreat coming up in June. We're just gonna be a bunch of artists just getting together, sharing art, loving on each other, eating and shit. That's gonna be fun.
Off of each other?
We might be. It might be that kind of party. Like poets get down. Yeah. Other than that, man, we're still working on just social justice movements behind the scenes. Y'all gonna find out more about that down the road. And just trying to enjoy life, man. Just not trying to get too bogged down in the whole, fight the power shit. Just trying to enjoy my family.
You gotta go all the way into it.
I'm all the way into it, but I can still live my life too.
Hmm.
And so that's why I'm trying to strike that balance. So yeah, man. What about you?
I'm not gonna lie, man. I've just been coasting. Work is so busy, I've been trying to survive at this point. If you're gonna make it in this capitalist society, that's what you gotta do, Slave for the man, rest, get not enough rest, and go back to slavery.
Get not enough rest on purpose and then go back to
Nah, man, life has been good, man. I just had a birthday, turned 34.
You 44, it's fine.
34. Hey, the gap in my head is 40.
Hey,
I got that Myron going on. Like
you got that Myron LeBron mix,
right?
Up on you.
But no, man, everything is beautiful, man. Life is good, so no complaints.
Tell them the difference between how we celebrated your birthday this year versus how we celebrated in our early 20s.
Bro, it's a real washed birthday. Just super washed. We're going to enjoy each other in the most responsible way possible. We're gonna talk while we wait on our table.
Yes.
We're gonna go to dinner. We're gonna have no more than one, maybe two drinks.
Yes.
We're gonna depart.
We're gonna talk in the parking lot before we depart, though. We're gonna talk.
Yeah, we're gonna talk before we depart. We're gonna have engaging conversation.
Yeah. Right
before that, but then we all know that we are all tired.
By what are we in? Like, what was it like 9 o'clock?
It was like 9 or 10. Like it was relatively early for the rest of the world.
Well, that's funny.
But yeah, man, like it was still legit. I ain't got no complaints. I mean, look, like bro, like the more I think about it, man, like I don't need like wild shit. I feel like wild shit is like for the younger folks.
1,000%.
Bro, because as long as I'm around my people, like I don't too much care.
That's how it feels now. As long as you're just in good loving company, and y'all just have like good ass conversations, which was basically the whole night was just good ass conversations.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. So
yeah.
But yeah, man. So what are we talking about today?
Man, so your dad out here, your stepdaddy, Kevin Samuels, passed away. Which I'm not gonna lie, I was legit
rumored.
It's rumored, but I feel like it's pretty much confirmed at this point. Like,
it seems pretty true.
Yeah, I texted Will as soon as I heard because it was just wow. Like I just did not see that coming at all. He passed away, and you knew it was gonna be a firestorm on social media after that happened. But sure enough, that's what happened.
People were super fucking gross.
Oh my God, it's been, of course, two polar opposite sides of. Damn, Kevin Samuels died. What a tragedy. It's gonna be missed. He did so much for the community, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, that nigga's gone. Nah, fucking nigga, da, da, da.
Celebrate. Like
tap this. Some people was posting that meme with that woman like smiling at somebody's great coffin. Did you see it? She's like leaning on the coffin, like smiling, like she's taking a picture with her family or some shit. All kind of crazy shit. But what I found interesting, as someone who does not support Kevin Samuels, I don't really like him at all, but I don't feel any joy in taking, celebrating somebody's death. But what I found interesting is people defending Kevin were saying that people were just mad at him because he had a difference of opinion. And I was like, I feel like y'all are being disingenuous because this man is clearly, and you can see in his career shift that he clearly intended to be rude and demeaning to several people. And it's so funny that you just call that a difference of opinion But it made me think, what is that thin line between someone just sharing a difference of opinion and someone actually promoting some potential hate speech that could actually endanger people's lives and just cause general, division amongst people. What is the difference between that, and how do we call that out without trying to censor people entirely?
So, like, I guess, like, how do you? Because I think, like, part of the issue is, like, people don't believe that he's spreading hate speech. It's more of just like a critique of Black women or a critique of people that are in the lower class, or people who are, what a lot of people would say are poor or societally like down bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess, like, is him pointing that out in an individual hate speech? Like, where's the hate speech critique come from?
So I don't know if I'm not necessarily saying, I don't know if I think he was actually promoting hate speech per se. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that.
Okay.
But it was unnecessarily rude and demeaning. And I think he knows that. He knew that. And he purposely did that because he knew that would get a rise out of people. You can critique people, you can call out people without calling them, calling women linebackers and shit. Without calling women over 35 leftover woman, without calling dudes fat fucks and shit, which is your shit, shit that killed you out.
Hey, like, I laugh about it, but low-key Kevin Samuels talk mad shit about me.
Like, oh my God.
But bro, like, I feel like it's a bunch of sensitive. Okay, first off, I think everybody's sensitive nowadays.
Yeah.
But, like, bro, just laugh at it if you can.
But you know that anybody lives a life that's worth living and has, cares about themselves or has people in their life that they care about is going to be sensitive about something.
Yeah.
Like, me and you are best friends, we're basically brothers, and we make fun of each other all the time. But if I say the wrong thing about Mackenzie, like, this whole friendship could be over with.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I never understand the only thing I understand about the whole oversensitive thing is, yeah, some people just don't want to get you. Some people just don't want to like you. Mm-hmm. So they will claim that you're doing more harm than you're actually doing. But Kevin Samuels was someone who was intentionally being rude and demeaning to people to get money because he knew it was profitable. And, like, why are we acting like that's just a difference of opinion?
The majority of the people who before his death, because I ain't paid too much attention to these people at post death.
Yeah,
they're just nonsense. But majority of people beforehand, like, they were like, oh yeah, he's rude and such. But, like, it was mostly like the critique he had of Black women, not necessarily that they were ugly or fat, but it was the parts that he disagreed with, like, as far as mentality and as far as, the role they played and stuff like that. Like, that was the majority where the hate I saw people hate him on. You know what I mean?
Yes. I don't know if I'll say majority, because I think I'll say this. So I had did you watch this whole Joe Budden podcast interview?
I watched it. I watched the whole thing. I can't say that I remember the whole thing.
Okay. I think, first of all, I'm glad I watched it because it really showed me why I don't fuck with him, or why so many people don't fuck with him, but also why so many people do fuck with him. With the woman thing, for example, the way he talks about the mentality of women is, first of all, I think he's talking about a very small majority of women who don't want to cooperate with men, who have, I want to say, irrational standards, who have irrational thoughts of, I deserve the world and I don't have to give anything to the world. And he talks about women as like a revenge type of thing of, like, men have been shut down by women for so long, so, like, now it's time for us to get our revenge. And he completely dismisses, like, any type of sexist or misogynist violence that women have suffered to make his arguments. And so when you do that, like, you're not only being disingenuous, but, like, you're talking about a very small minority of women who think like that and actually believe what they're saying. So when you build a whole platform on that, like, yeah, people are like, what are you you're obviously trying to get at an angle right here. Like,
Do you think his whole platform is built on that, or the fact that, like, because what I've taken from it is the fact that women get, or black people are married at a lower clip than they used to, because women feel like they don't need men, and a few other factors. And this is kind of tearing the black family and the black community apart. Not necessarily blaming women, but holding women accountable.
it's only holding women accountable. It's okay, so it's focused on holding women accountable for what they do wrong, but it's completely jumping over the conversation of, well, why don't women want to get married in terms of interpersonal interaction? Like, why aren't women just marrying any old dude anymore? Because the answer is, of course, because they don't have to. Like, women have more power now; they don't have to put up with bullshit anymore. But he skips that whole conversation of why don't women desire to be in long-term partnerships. It just says women don't want to be in partnerships anymore. Therefore, they're dividing our families. Period. Like, full stop. That's the problem. Like, that's completely disingenuous. You're not asking women. You're not discussing how women have historically had to be in partnership with men because they didn't really have a choice. They didn't really have any resources or like wealth or possession of their own. They had to attach themselves to a man, literally legally. But you skip that whole part and just say like, oh, it's not like the good old days anymore where women want to be partnered with men. You're just saying women are fucking up.
He holds men accountable too. Like, I just,
to a degree, yeah.
He holds men accountable. It's just like they're not the main ones calling in, or at least I don't know if they are, but he has some shows with men on it, but a lot of the shows he doesn't. And I don't know if that's intentional or if that was. I don't know if that was intentional or if that was just the viewership that his audience turned into.
I think he was very well curated who was allowed to call in and what type of audience he was drawing in the first place. All of it was very strategic. But there's a reason he doesn't have, he's not, so I believe the owner of a platform must be responsible for the type of audience that they curate for the platform. Not because we know people are drawn to certain types of content. Naturally, yeah, of course, some people go to stuff that they don't normally go to just look at, just see what's going on over there. But for the most part, like like Travis Scott knows what kind of fans he's getting. Drake knows what kind of fans he's getting. Yeah. Like Kevin saying, so when you put out a certain narrative, you're going to get a certain type of response, whether it be man or a woman. So like when people say like, oh, well, it's mostly women calling in. Well, what type of woman? Because there's like women who definitely subscribe to patriarchy and white supremacist ideology, just like the men do. So it's like, yeah, of course they subscribe to that, and of course they'll call in. But that for me is not like a valid excuse for you to keep doing what you're doing. It's like, why? Here's my question to you, and like, I don't know if you consider yourself like a Kevin Samuels fan? What do you consider yourself?
Not a fan. Like I see where he's coming from on some stuff. And I support some stuff, and I feel like we don't have to throw it all away because we don't like parts of the message.
I got you. I guess my biggest question, and this is not a Kevin Samuels, this is what creates a Kevin Samuels and who's going to keep creating Kevin Samuels. Why can't we envision a society that takes care of like everybody the way they need to be taken care of? And what I mean by that is whenever he talks about building up men, from what I've seen anyway, and from that interview in particular, it's always like how men can recover from not being loved properly or treated properly by women. But the response is, let's tear down women so we can build up men. That's what I hear, and that's definitely what I heard all throughout that interview. Why can't we envision a world where we just like properly take care of one another and everybody's being properly loved on? No one has to be like working themselves into the ground to be called a provider. No one has to be this super soft, defenseless, all-fearing specimen to be considered wife material. Why can't we envision a society where we don't have to, adhere to any of this bullshit? We can just collectively work towards that versus let's just have this fucking gender war and see who comes out on top. Like, how's that productive?
I don't know if it's necessarily productive, but it just is the way it is. And as far as speaking about the future and how we change the minds and everything, I don't think am I am I pessimistic in saying this? I feel like I'm just right. But like I feel like people are kind of too selfish to get there. People are out for their own, I guess, survival.
But why is
And
that the case? Or why do you think that's the case?
because we've been taught that there's a finite amount of things, you know what I mean? So you have to be geared towards your own personal gain.
Uh-huh.
It's human nature to want to survive, you know what I mean?
For sure.
And so with that, there's going to be competition. I know you believe we're just gluttonous and all this other stuff, gluttonous and greedy and shit like that, but which we are. But like as far as like there's just I don't think you can change that in people.
Change what?
The feeling of comfort in knowing the community has you. You know what I mean? To where you don't have to be in competition with someone.
But what type of competition are we talking about? Are we talking about like, does it have to, because it hasn't always been this way, because capitalism hasn't always been around. The capitalist ideology hasn't always been around. Does it always have to be a competition?
Is it historically, is it any different in other governments that we've seen over the past, say, I don't know, 500 years? Maybe, well, no, because was that 40? I don't know. But, like since modern history.
Yeah, well, so even if you talk about capitalism hasn't always been the way it is now. This is what I've been trying to say. Like, I know I talk shit about capitalism, but I'm talking about capitalism in the current sense of the word. But capitalism hasn't even always been this way. It was a point of simply, means to an end type of thing. And yes, human labor was still being exploited, but it wasn't to this level. And it wasn't to this level of a sense of scarcity being instilled in people to make people feel like they have to, step on one another to get it. It was simply supply and demand.
So is there real scarcity now? Do you think there's any real scarcity now with 7 billion people on the planet?
Depends on what you're talking about, but the type of things that he's building a narrative of scarcity on, I don't think there's a scarcity of at all, in terms of instilling fear in women that if you don't get married by 30 years old, for example, then you might be fucking shit out of luck out here. It's just not true.
But, well, I don't know, because I'm not a woman and I'm not an older woman either. But I feel like this is the same rhetoric that they've been taught already.
Who's talking about, woman?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. None of it is true. Like, that's what it's not so much the Kevin Samuels thing. It's the culture that makes a Kevin Samuels.
Why is it not true?
That women over 30 are undesirable?
Not undesirable, but less desirable. Like, just because it doesn't taste good, that doesn't make it, I guess, any less true.
But women over 30 get booed up all the time, is what I'm saying. Like, there's people within their dating range, within their age range, within their class range.
I don't think 30 is fair, but maybe 35. Like, I feel like your options start to become, you know what I mean?
You can say you might have less options. I'm saying he builds a narrative of you're gonna die alone. Isn't that his motto? You're gonna die alone if you don't fucking hurry up and find somebody to settle down with. You can talk about how your options.
I will give you that. He does say that shit a lot. This is why Black women are dying alone.
This is what I'm saying.
I will give you that. He does say that shit.
That's what I'm saying, but it's all intertwined in how he describes everything, and whatever he's trying to get you to buy into is business. Is business 101. Like, whatever he's trying to get you to buy into, you have to create this false sense of scarcity. Like, if you don't act right now, you're gonna miss out. And I'm asking people, is this what y'all want? Like, is this what the? Because remember, I asked you, like, people. I feel like people are willing to get rich by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Even if there's a black face attached to that, is that really what we want? You just see more black people getting rich by any means necessary, even if it means stepping on other black people or exploiting other black people.
No, I'm just kidding. No. I don't know, man. Like I guess there's a degree to the steps. Like, is it a stomp? Is it a light tapping? Like, are we like exploiting black people by making them buy shitty, trendy clothing that's going to go out in a year? Or are we selling crack to our communities? It's levels. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree that there's levels. Because like we said, like all paid labor is exploitation in some form or fashion. So I do agree that there's levels.
I don't know, man. Like I don't know. Yes, he's exploiting his position and shit, but like that's what I don't disagree with that aspect of it. Could he do it in a nicer way? Yeah, but that shit ain't gonna get him paid. And also it's kind of not gonna get the message across. Like you're not gonna get the same audience.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what we have to collectively build a new way of getting messages about this. The revolution has to be a cultural revolution. You can't just pop up one day and say, I'm gonna do this and it's gonna be successful. We have to collectively support a new way of giving each other's messaging, interacting with each other, loving each other. Like you have to collectively work at that. You can't just be like, well, everybody else is doing it. So
it's so hard of a concept to buy into because I've seen it go this way for so long.
That's what I'm saying.
But it's like, I get what you're saying, but it just, in my mind, it seems all Disney and utopian and fake. Like this just seems unattainable. Like,
okay, so I want you to remember something real quick. Remember we was watching Lovecraft, and what's fine as dark skinned woman name? I can't remember all of a sudden.
Oh, Dee, or what was her name? Was it Nate Dee?
Was it no? It was like V. Oh, fuck.
Chocolate thing. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, remember the scene where she was walking to some private property and some white dude was like, "Hey, nigger, get out of here," or whatever the fuck. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And the white girl, she was posing as a dude. She came and then was like, "Hey, don't worry." She basically said, like, "Don't worry, she's my nigger. Don't worry about it. Leave her alone." Basically. And like she was so grateful for that moment because she saved her life or whatever. And I was like pissed off. I was like, why the fuck would you be grateful for some shit like that? And you were like, well, maybe that's like that's the best outcome she could have hoped for in that moment. Like maybe that's the only way she saw herself coming out of this thing alive was this white dude claiming her as her nigger. And I was like, shit, you probably right. So I think about all our ancestors who thought like there's no way out of slavery. This shit would be forever. That's why so many of our parents would tell us to shut the fuck up around white people because they might lynch your ass because they can't see any other life other than black despair if you open your mouth or step too far out of the line. So like, why are we knowing what we know now? Why would we limit ourselves now to like what we have currently? Like, why won't we keep pushing that imagination when we've seen ourselves overcome the shit over and over and over again?
Because people don't feel like there's anything to overcome.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to envision yourself overcoming it. If you don't envision it, then no, it's not going to happen.
So what is the vision here? That everybody finds a mate, or everybody?
Okay, when it comes to Kevin Samuels in particular,
yeah.
My vision is having more male leaders who aren't also just egregiously gross and misogynistic and sexist, and we just overlook that part and just say, "Well, just focus on the good." Like, why can't we just have someone who just respects people and wants to help people and actually build families?
You got Charlemagne.
Get out of my face with that's your boy. That's your boy. I know what you defended him. But like, why can't that be like the norm? That is my vision. Why can't that be? We have a world where that is the norm. Why is that so crazy for people to see?
I don't think that's crazy for people to see. I think that is happening in small communities.
So what I
That
can't be.
that's even happening on TV. Like, I
Yeah,
don't
in
know.
small increments. Yeah, but why is it not? Why can't
But
that?
like, is Kevin Samuels the norm? Is Kevin Samuels the
Yes,
norm on relationship advice, black male relationship advice?
I think absolutely he is the norm.
Is
Yeah,
Kevin Samuels, Myron, and that one clown?
I ain't saying nothing about it, fresh and fit.
I'm just saying, like, we're talking about like black male negative relationship advice. Those are like some of the figureheads, right? Like those are some of the leaders.
I don't even know if people would consider because fresh and fit is basically just trolling at this point. I don't even know if they take themselves seriously anymore. I think people like Kevin Samuels have a mindset of, like you said, this is what it is because this is all I've seen, and so this is what I'm going to continue to perpetuate. And what it is like I said, deeply classist and misogynistic theologies that's like ingrained into their way of thinking. I think that is definitely the norm as far as like male advice, at least black male advice. I don't really see a lot of cultures, but at least black male advice, yes, absolutely.
On the side note, I'm gonna actually prove you right. I had a low key mentor, just fucking horrible mentor, fucking horrible.
What do you mean?
Like he knew my mom owned property. He was like, "Boy, you need to be staying at one of the properties. Have you about 3-4 hoes running up in and up out of there, you know?" Like, bro, I had a girlfriend at the time, and this nigga was like, I don't know why you got just one. Like I was fucking up.
I think it's you limiting yourself. That is hilarious.
So I know that there are negative male influences out there. But man, I don't know. I don't think that's the norm. I think the norm is kind of like I feel like the norm is like more for women on this. You got to get married by such and such time. You know, like women project that on women. I don't think that's mostly men projecting that on women.
No, I think, well, like Bell Hook says, like patriarchy knows no gender. I think both parties can perpetuate it just as much. I think men just are more capable of doing it on a bigger platform just because men usually have more opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know the numbers, but yeah, anybody can perpetuate that for sure. But yeah, it's like, and then going back to what I said, like, why can't we envision a world where we're just not attributing all our value to these things that are so much in the hands of other people? Like,
yeah,
when I hear Kevin Samuels talk about what it takes to be a man, like he was like, you know, go out, get a job. Like, if you're not making enough money, go work 60, 70 hours a week, get a job at McDonald's, KFC, whatever, just get a job. And it's like, why are we just telling people to just get any job like this, just like not fulfilling them, not serving them, in effort to be a man? Like, what if we redefine how like manhood looks? What if we had a society that actually took care of people where you don't have to work 60 something hours a week to just survive and to not be emasculated? Like,
oh shit, my bad.
yeah.
I guess, man, like I said before, and we've talked about this in private. Like, if you're gonna be out here in this open dating scene and you don't know what the fuck you want, and you just say, "I'm looking for a partner," da 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 da. Mm-hmm. This is what it is.
Currently.
Yeah, like, I guess, but like, I guess, man,
because it hasn't always been like this either. And that's another thing. Like, a lot of dudes are like, the way he talks, like it's like a shocking revelation of
Kevin Samuels does not say like you need to be a high value man.
No,
like,
no.
He just tells you what a high value man is. If this is what you're looking for, this is what you should expect. If you want to be a high value man, this is what you should attain to do. If you want to up your dating value on this, what I'm gonna just call the open market, like this is how you do it. Or if you can't do anything about it, like your kids, you know, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
And I think when people are so non-specific and I guess not into themselves to know like what's important to them for a partner, Like this is the prototype. This is the template. You know what I mean?
Sure. But again, I think one is mostly based on stereotypes, on gross generalizations, on completely just false shit in general. A lot of it, not all of it, a lot of it. And again, it just stops people from just envisioning a completely different dynamic of themselves. And that's one point I will agree with you on that. Like a lot of people, the reason this stuff catches fire so fast is because, yeah, a lot of people just don't know what they want. We talk about this all the time. A lot of people just don't know who they are, what they want.
They're looking for answers.
They're looking for answers. And so here comes Kevin Samuels giving a certain type of answer that's going to tap into your pain points. And again, not saying it's all lies, but a lot of it's just completely untrue. And a lot of it's just exploiting people's pain points. And I just want to see people just envision themselves in just a better state of life, period.
Yeah.
And have the conversations to get there. So again, like I said, it's not so much a Kevin Samuels thing as a how do Kevin Samuels get created type of thing.
Did you ever remember when Kevin Samuels used to talk to women and he'd be like, "How old are you?" And they'd be like,
"You started rundown."
Bro, I remember the rundown, but like specifically, you're like, "How old are you?" And they'd be like, "I'm 35." And he would play the shit from Archer. He'd be like, "Danger zone."
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Just unnecessary.
That nigga said you were in the danger zone of never finding a partner. That shit is goated, bro. Like,
just unnecessary.
Oh man, but
yeah,
just don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Like, that's a baby I'm fine with throwing out. I have no problem throwing that baby out. Totally fine with that.
There's a real message in there somewhere for you.
Somewhere you can dig through the trash. You will find it.
Mike, you getting in the danger zone.
You're right, man. I'm 34. I might be out of it. I might be hopeless. Right. I might go ahead and get some cats.
Luckily, you're a male.
Oh yeah, so I just gotta keep getting some money and I'll be straight.
Right.
Yeah, with the original question, man, like how do you differentiate like someone just saying whatever and someone actually saying that something that's potentially harmful?
I mean, I feel like potentially harmful is there's a large, it's a scale to it, man. Like Kevin Samuels saying women should be married by such and such, and you fat and built like a linebacker or something like that. Like it's harmful to their feelings. I don't think it's harmful to women as a whole like that.
I disagree, but
you're hurting one person's feelings.
But it's not one person.
You're entertaining hundreds of others.
I think you're trying to like compartmentalize like the effects of just one person versus when the narrative concerns like women in general. I think you're trying to like isolate it to like just this one person's feelings are getting hurt. But like if you look at his comment section, you see like men take this shit and run with it to every woman they be talking about.
Do they really?
Man, the grossest Kevin.
I never read comment sections because that shit is ugly.
Only reason I do is because I just try to be objective as possible.
Yeah.
The worst places to reside are Kevin Samuels or a Fresh and Fit comment section. Kevin Samuels' comments are so toxic. Because one of the best videos I've seen him do, actually, you should watch this one. He did the 2-part video with Shan Booty.
I saw the little teaser.
Oh, you did? Okay. That was one of the more productive conversations I've seen him have.
So it looked like, I'm not gonna lie.
What?
Love Kevin Samuels. It looked like he was backing down off of his regular stance. Like it was a more neutral stance.
That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't as radical once he had somebody in front of him.
That's what I'm saying. So you have to,
but he did say that I'm done with a lot of that stuff I was doing. I'm moving on. I started the conversation. Now let's move on to
Did he say that?
I think he said near the beginning, at least in the he said it somewhere in the teaser.
Well, we know that's not true because like he just did the 35 and over woman or leftover woman shit right before he died.
I mean, okay, man. Like he he means he's progressing towards, not like left behind. You know, I mean, you're so literal.
He just did the video.
Oh, God, no, leave some room for interpretation.
He just did the video. He just did. Leave some room for interpretation.
God, no, man.
He just did the video before he died. Anyway.
Boy, you are rough, boy. I tell
I'm
you.
trying to give him a compliment right now. He did the video with Shan Booty. It was one of the most progressive conversations. Only thing I didn't like is when he tried to act like he don't know why people don't like him, which I can't stand when he does that shit. Because nigga, you know why people don't like you. But other than that, like it was one of the more progressive conversations. And I was gonna mention something about that. What was the point I was trying to make?
All right, first, I just clicked on some random video.
Oh yeah.
That men don't like bossy women. Period. No truer words can be spoken. Applause. 4,000 likes.
That's what I was getting at. And you keep reading them, but even that conversation he had with Shan Booty, like again, there was no like friction. I even kind of looked at Shan kind of weird because she made it a point to avoid all his controversies, like completely sidestep the shit. You know how someone's just kind of completely on like I'm gonna just tunnel vision this shit. She did that shit to the both parts of that video. Even still, niggas are still in the comment section. You can go to those videos now. Niggas are still in the comment section dragging this woman being
Really?
gross. Still, like it was crazy. A nigga, I remember some comment said, as soon as because she said something about binary, like you know how we look at everything in a binary fashion.
Yeah.
A nigga was like, as soon as I hear a woman say binary, I know she should shut the fuck up or some shit like that. Like it was like
Nigga, why?
it was just like on go. Yeah, man. I feel like the difference between the two is the person's intentionality behind what they're saying. The potential for it to incite violence, like the way they say it.
Mm-hmm.
Sit down when I'm talking. The potential for this stuff violence. Or discrimination or anything. And more than anything, the person's willingness to like self-examine themselves. If someone says like, hey, the shit you just said was kind of off. Like, you know, can you not be so gross with it? If that person's not willing to be like, oh shit, let me relook at what I said and how I said it, then I think that's more times than not when those two things happen, it's probably gonna be hate speech. I feel like.
Well, whatever.
Got it.
I disagree.
You said that to a nigga talk about Mackenzie on Instagram Live.
Yeah, you gotta check them. But are you 35, Mackenzie?
What if this like type of like rhetoric was still rampant, like when she's 35 though? Like, what if it was still just as relevant as it is today?
Right? Golly. We've made no progress.
None. None at all.
So,
but yeah, man. I think the last part of this conversation was: do you think, speaking of free speech, do you think Elon Musk plans for Twitter is going to open the floodgates for actual hate speech to just run completely rampant?
I don't know, man. I think it may get a little more radical. Because he's like all about like super free speech.
Right.
But all that free speech could be bad. I hope it progresses conversations more forward instead of keeping people in their little echo chambers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably going to get worse before it gets better.
I agree with that. I do.
I know, like he said, he plans to like unban Donald Trump. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know how that's gonna go. Then you get into like fake news.
Yeah.
Because Twitter made like a huge campaign. Bro, you've got to be a real piece of shit to make like whole companies invest in new technology to stop you from lying.
That's just wild. That's just actually wild.
Like, bro, like they had to invest. It was Twitter and Facebook
Yeah.
and Instagram, all like they were all like, this article is or this comment has not been proven as true.
Yes. Shit's wild. You talking about the COVID stuff or just the other stuff?
Bro, like it was just like they just got those features now. And it all started from Trump.
It's crazy, bro.
Spreading fake news. Yeah, dog. Like I feel like Twitter is the best conversation platform.
Really?
I think so, because like for whatever reason, shit stretches so far on Twitter. You know what I mean? Like the way people comment and respond, it just stretches much further on Twitter than Facebook, because you don't really have to be friends as much with people on Twitter.
It's true.
Shit seems to just get shared a bit more. You know what I mean?
But when you say best platform for conversations, do you think a majority of conversations on Twitter are actually productive?
No, but just speaking with people who, disagree with you, whatever, however you want to say it. It's just the most interactive platform.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. So, we'll see. I know Elon Musk said, my preference is to hew close to the laws of country in which Twitter operates. If the citizens want something banned, then pass a law to do so. Otherwise, it should be allowed.
What the fuck? The fuck? Pass a law? Like that's just some shit you can just do? I think it's like if it's truly like no holds barred, do whatever the fuck you want. I just feel like it's just gonna be potentially incredibly dangerous. Because like you just said, if it's the most wide-reaching platform, then you can spread misinformation faster than you ever could before.
Yeah.
With no one stopping it. So, and that's part of why this shit's so fucked up now. Like, that's why people have so much mistrust in the government and even in policing and politicians and leaders, so quote unquote leaders, because ultimately we just don't know who's telling the truth.
Yeah.
And like, because there's been this relentless attempt to just politicize and commodify every single thing. We just literally don't know who or what to trust. So I've been trying to give people grace on conspiracy theories a lot more lately, because even if you say something like absolutely crazy, like I get why you feel that way.
Yeah.
Some woman, this was a little bit too crazy, but some woman on my timeline was like, Beyonce killed Aaliyah, and I'm gonna tell y'all why. And like I read this shit, I read the headline, I was like, this about to be some bullshit, but I get it. Like I totally understand why they exist.
Hey, like if Beyonce killed Aaliyah, Beyonce blew up like she did, nigga, that's the crime of the century, bro.
That's what a small part of you feels like in some universe that could be possible. That could be possibly true. But we don't know. So it's like that's what I'm saying. Like this shit it's already out of control. So to even think of a platform where you just want to be completely out of control sounds crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna like unban hate speech offenders. Like that should be wild. That should be too wild.
Be free, and then they just come out and you just see
nigger.
Everything is nigger.
Stacey would love that shit. The way she says nigger is so off-putting.
It's so gross. So nasty.
So what do you think? You gonna start getting on Twitter more?
What I'm hoping is my Twitter experience will be the same way it is now. Because like I told you before, like my Twitter experience now is wonderful because I have a few people I follow, and therefore Twitter only has like a few people that suggested me to follow, and all those people are lit. I only get like a gross comment every now and then, but I don't search anything social justice related. I don't search anything political or.
What is your Twitter like? What is your Twitter about right now?
My shit is about music and TV shows and movies. That's about it. Kim Foster is the only, like, I guess you can say quote unquote political person I follow.
I got you.
She posts whatever she wants. Like it's not all about feminism. So yeah, my shit is fun. So my hope is that if it stays that way, I will definitely stay on, using it the way I'm using it. But my hope is that it doesn't turn into something completely gross.
Damn, Twitter got an updated terms of service and privacy policy already.
Oh shit, here you go. I should say you are consenting to being called a nigger at least 10 times a day by continuing to use our app. Oh, yeah, I got it too.
Oh, you just did it?
Yeah. I did hear this shit. I don't know if you heard about this, but apparently, like, Michael Eric Dyson has some like sexual harassment charges and shit. Not charges, but allegations. I did see that earlier today, so I don't know if that's true or not, but that would be very disappointing. But yeah, man, my shit has been delightful. Hopefully it stays that way. But I'm also trying not to make a whole narrative before I even see the thing actually happen. So let's see what happens, I guess.
Yeah.
And like we got a choice. I don't think Elon can get a refund at this point. So I think we just.
I mean, it's a cash purchase. Like if you don't come up with the cash, like it is.
Yeah, man. We'll see.
So,
any more thoughts?
Atlanta episode 9 tonight.
Oh man.
Where did you get this news that Michael Eric Dyson was accused of sexual allegations?
I'll send it to you. Kim had reposted it. It was back in it actually happened back in 2017.
Brennan even made white people news because I just searched it on Google.
That's actually surprising. If you search, hold on.
I just searched Michael Eric Dyson news.
Just search Michael Eric Dyson sexual harassment.
Harassment. Slated to teach spring. So there's one article from this year about it. Up to.
I haven't heard nothing about it. So apparently Jay-Z just put him on his board for this social justice initiative from Rock Nation.
Yeah.
And people were like, what?
All the super deep, woke social justice people were like, what?
I was like, what? Because I was like, damn, that would be.
The allegations are damning enough that he should be canceled.
See, I ain't even see all that. See, look at you.
Get him out of here. Somebody said something. Get him out.
Well, Stacey has that philosophy. Not to call out Stacey on the show, but
he does.
She said, if you got any
allegation is enough.
She said, if anybody said your name the wrong way around sexual harassment, you out of here.
Yeah. You did something.
You did something to earn that. So, yeah, man, you want to do your thirst? I gotta watch. I saw that Chet Hank shit. Hella awkward.
That short, yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. Thirst of the week this week is the lovely, beautiful, talented Z-Way.
Hey,
she's got a show on Showtime. It's like a sketch comedy / interview show. She's had a whole bunch of guests on there. This season, she's showing. Our first episode was Charlemagne, which you can catch on YouTube completely free. All you gotta do is search Z-Way, ZIWE, and Charlemagne. It should pull up on YouTube. But it's her second season, so she's doing real well. She's extremely funny. Her second episode is Chet Hanks, who makes the shit is just super awkward.
Hella awkward.
My man is like culturally appropriating, knowing it, and denying it in people's faces.
And at the same time, all at the same time. Very weird. Is she a stand-up comedian? Like, where did she come from?
I have no clue, Mike. I haven't done enough research on her. Because I just saw that clip the other day when I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is really fresh, but she's very dope, beautiful. She's got like this weird fucking personality. It's like almost off-putting, but it's like, oh, but you're saying smart things at the same time. So
my kind of woman.
Right. Check her out. I don't know if the whole black girl sketch comedy thing is like really catching on. Because it seems like they're backing it. These shows and these networks are backing it a little bit more.
As long as it's better than Black Lady Sketch Show, then I'm with it.
Black Lady Sketch Show has been renewed for a 3rd season, so I don't know what the fuck you talking
Who is watching this show? Like, I love Black women and funny ass Black women. I love them. I cannot get into this show to save my life, bro. I've tried so many times.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I've tried to. It's okay. Like, okay, so when they did the whole gang shit, like the ladies was part of the gang, and they was going over like it was like the orientation. That shit was kind of funny.
Was that like the first season?
That was first season, yeah.
I think I saw that. That was all right.
Issa Rae was the
Yeah, I remember that. That was all right. Everyone watched the shit with Tony. I love Tony Baker. They even did the skit. I saw the skit with Tony Baker. It was all right.
Bro, they had this shit with some gay dudes. Like they was doing like a fashion show. And that shit was like legit funny. Like that shit like laughed my ass off funny.
I didn't see that one.
You just hate Black women.
I love Black women.
You just hate Black women card.
Oh, so what did you rate Amanda Seals' stand-up special?
Oh, it had some issues, but I came from a non-biased, non-toxic masculinity position.
Non-toxic masculinity position.
Yeah, free of patriarchy critique. Patriarchy free critique.
Fantastic. Yeah, man. Shout out to all the women on that show. It's just not for me, but shout out to all of them.
Yeah. Abbott Elementary, that shit's funny as fuck.
I gotta watch that show. I haven't seen
that. Shit is funny as hell.
But
we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the Lovely Z-Way show.
I'm sorry, Z-Way.
Check it out on Showtime. Z-Way. That's all the name of the show is. And she got some African name, I believe. But we're not going to click on another tab because I can't let y'all see my browser history. All right.
All the OnlyFans tabs want to pop up. All right, man. Well, we're glad to be back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back, man. Missed y'all.
Oh, man. Miss fighting and laughing in front of y'all. That's what we do. So brothers get down. That's how brothers get down, man. It's not but love at the end of the day. But yeah, we're going to be back again. I'm hoping to have a special guest on the next episode. If everything plays right. I think that it will before. I don't want to spoil it in case it doesn't work out. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, man, thank y'all so much for just hanging with us. Again, sorry about the hiatus, but we back, man. We'll be more consistent. As long as good topics keep coming up, we're going to be consistent. If nothing good comes up, then we might see y'all next year. I don't know. Yeah, man. We love y'all. See you next time. Peace. Now, why are you shooting people? This is the first episode back. You shooting people. Terrible.